downtown, I got that heat, let's go.
And after all this testing, the best electric truck is the... Welcome back to the Cobra Pit, whether you're a long-time viewer or a newer subscriber like Thomas M. I see you. And I see these dope keychains you made me. I appreciate you. And I appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for watching. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. So my EV journey started in 2017 with the Chevy Bolt, and today I'm comparing two electric trucks from the ground up were designed to be electric vehicles. The Cybertruck from Tesla and the Rivian R1T. I own the Tesla Cybertruck and I spent a few days with the Rivian R1T. They both have unique and amazing qualities, and they have some areas of improvement. If you're looking at getting one of these electric trucks, I'm going to tell you the best parts and the worst parts about each one. I will have a towing and payload comparison coming later, and I'm going to have a full review on both of these vehicles that I really break it down to the nitty gritty. So stay tuned for that. I mean, I could read you a whole bunch of stats about these two trucks, but you can go read that yourself. So I'll bring up the Bolt because yes, this is a Tesla-centric channel, but I have experience with other EVs, and the Chevy Bolt was the vehicle that opened up the electric vehicle world to me. So I kind of know what it's like on both sides. I mean, non-Tesla EVs have great qualities and they do really special things, but there's always been one killer feature that really separates Teslas from the other. I mean, we looked at the BMW i4, and I really liked the Ioniq 5s when they first came out. But again, it came down to this one thing that always led me to Teslas and had me recommending Teslas to other people. You guessed it, the build quality of Teslas are... No, not the build quality. I mean, the Superchargers, of course. Like when you think about a killer feature, the Supercharger network is all over the country. We've traveled all along the West Coast without any range anxiety just because you can easily find these locations. There's so many of them. You just punch in your destination on the in-dash display and they will tell you which Supercharger to go to and how long you need to stay there. I mean, that was a killer feature. The key word is was. That was an exclusive feature, not any longer. They've opened up the Superchargers to Ford, to Rivian, and now it's a little bit more of an even playing field. Now Rivian and Ford F-150 Lightnings are on my radar, looking at checking them out like, okay, let's see what's up then. So I want to test this out. I got the Rivian R1T and we took it along a long road trip along an historic highway, and I wanted to see how much of an impact it is having Tesla Superchargers. All you gotta do in the Rivian is you look on the map, on the screen, just like on a Tesla, and then you have the option of seeing all these destination chargers from Rivian to EVgo, all over, right? But I just want to narrow it down to the Tesla Superchargers because I'm going to take the Cybertruck and drive along and find out, like, hey, is this even comparable? What's the deal? And I'm just going to keep it real with you. So we found one, we punched it in both vehicles, and we start heading down the highway, right? We're driving, the Cybertruck's over there. So we pull into the Superchargers at Lake Elsinore. She goes in, she plugs hers in easily. But here was the other issue though. Even though I'm charging, because of the location of the Rivian charge port on the driver's side front, I had to take up 2 spaces, right? So I'm sitting there waiting, I'm waiting for a spot to open up, 2 spots to open up so I could charge. I finally found one and I slid in there and I plugged it in and I charged. Here's a funny story. We're inside the restaurant eating and someone walks in and says, there's a long line because that Rivian took 2 spots. And I'm sitting there looking like, hater. That's why people don't like Tesla drivers. That right there. Oh man, I can't stand these Tesla drivers. For real. So now I'm like, man, it is what it is. Don't blame me. Don't blame anyone. You know, it's the more the merrier. I go to mine and, oh, you might be thinking, this is NACS, right? Tesla uses NACS, the National American Standard or Chargers, something like that, right? So I'm like, oh, what do? Bam. The people at Lectron. I mean, I trust Lectron, right? Because I have a home charger with Lectron. I also have an adapter through Lectron so I can charge my non-Tesla EVs here at home with my Tesla charger, my Tesla wall connector, and they have an adapter for the Supercharger. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. I already know what's up. You pop it on easily, right? You just pull a little lever at the bottom, slide it on, fits snugly, plug it in to charge. Green light. We are good to go. I check it in the app. I check it on the dash. We are good to go. It's charging, right? I'm like, yeah. So we get back, and to remove the adapter is easy. It just slides off the same way. No problems at all. But anyway, I don't know, that was solid, and you know, thanks to that adapter, no problem. So I feel like it's more of a level playing field now. Even though Rivian doesn't have access to all the Tesla Superchargers, they have access to so many charging stations out there. But anyway, so that's more level. So now let's start with the big one, right? The big elephant in the room, the looks. The looks of both of these vehicles. The Rivian R1T looks like your traditional truck. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want. Most people won't even notice it's an EV just by looking at it, right? You think it's a traditional truck. And the way it looks, it looks approachable. It looks inviting. They have that adventure theme all throughout, not just on the outside, but also the inside. So if you're looking for that, you know, I definitely felt like I'm in a regular pickup truck. I'm in a Tacoma or something, right? But the Cybertruck, of course, you know, it looks cold. It looks mean. It looks a little, you know, a little weird, which is my style. That's more my style. So for me personally, I take the looks of the Cybertruck. It looks different, right? And that's more my speed, but you might want something a little more inviting. I mean, and part of the looks is that whole exterior. And of course, you know about the stainless steel exterior of the Cybertruck, but that also makes it look unfinished, right? It looks unfinished. Whether you like that or not, just the edges hanging over a little bit. I'm not talking about panel gaps and things like that. I'm not talking about build quality. I'm talking about just the way it looks. Compared to the Rivian, it looks nice and tight, and the build quality does look better. It looks like it was really thought out. Like they really thought about every little nook and cranny and area, including things like that gear tunnel that you always hear about. I mean, that's dope. It's dope. I didn't use it for the 3 days I had it. I didn't use it at all. But I can see the use case for it, fitting things in there. And being a smaller size, you wouldn't have any problem. You shouldn't have any problem fitting this into your garage if you care about that. I mean, my Cybertruck fits, but I have to fast for like 16 hours just so I can get around it when I park it in there. So, I mean, I'm sure the Rivian will fit more comfortably. I parked them both outside next to each other just to, you know, because it looked cool. But again, it's what do you prefer? I prefer the mean, different look of the Cybertruck. The exterior being stainless steel, like a DeLorean. But again, the Rivian looks refined. Refined Rivian, that's what we're going to call it. So it's up to you what you're looking for. And when it comes to EVs, the biggest thing is probably the range, right? And you can get a max pack that has over 400 miles of range in Rivians. I had the quad motor with the large pack, which is very comparable to what I have on the Cybertruck as far as range. And the efficiency was pretty comparable. We drove the same distance and we lost the same amount of range, and it wasn't any noticeable difference. So they were both about the same with efficiency. I mean, if you do want that max pack to get more range, you can do that. Some people say it's not worth it. I don't know. I have enough range for what I do with my Cybertruck, so the Rivian large pack would be enough for me. But also they have an extended range or range extender coming for the Cybertruck later down the line, eventually for 16,000 more. I mean, the max pack is like 19,000 more for Rivian. So, but the difference is the Cybertruck takes up the large bed. From what I have and my experience with these two, the range is about the same. And the next thing, because these are trucks, you have to talk about that bed, right? The Cybertruck has a larger bed, and it's noticeably larger when they're both closed, right? But the cool thing about the Rivian is that if you open it up, it does extend. It does extend, and it's a lot more space, but of course, it's open now, right? But that's pretty cool. They thought about that. They knew they had a shorter bed, so how can we kind of make it a little better? And I really love the storage underneath. You could fit a full spare tire underneath, full-size tire underneath this storage part, or you can just use it for whatever, right? Whatever you need to put in there. Now, the Cybertruck does have storage, but the thing about it is it's not big enough to fit a spare or a full-size spare, right? And I did order one from the Tesla shop, but it's going to take up more bed space. I'm not going to use the bed all the time, but I don't really want to take up bed space with it. So it's kind of like, which one do you prefer? Now in the bed, there's tie downs for both, of course, but I love the L tracks in the Cybertruck. It's just that you can move them anywhere. You could put anything on there. Like I put the center divider there. They have the outlets in the back here of the Cybertruck. And I actually charged my brother's Model 3 from here. But the Rivian has something that the Cybertruck was supposed to have, this air compressor. And it has the cable over in that gear tunnel. And the air compressor, that's cool to have, man. I carry around a portable one. And I would just love to have that there because there's times I need to fill up the tire. And I don't feel like stopping and making sure that my portable one is charged. I'm going to have to buy another one for the Cybertruck. But just having that on board, again, made for adventure, right? Made for adventure. Some people complain about the side of the Cybertruck, how it's high and hard to get. It is, but I don't know. It's not, to me, it's not a big deal. And I'm not being biased. I'm just saying the Rivian was nice and adventure focused. But which bed do you prefer? I'm going to have to go with the Cybertruck bed. And again, both these vehicles are around the same price. They just under 100K. 80K, 79K, depending on which configuration you get. But with the Rivian, of course, you can add color options and wheels and they both have accessories, but there's more options up front with the Rivian. So, of course, that will affect the price. And then, I mean, any real good EV has a frunk. Rivian gets an easy victory here. I mean, yeah, the front is longer because the front is bigger. But, man, you got so much space in here. But look at how much space, and it has the little net here. And then there's under storage, too. Like, some people complain, like, you have to lift things to get it into the front. But I don't have a problem with that. I wouldn't mind having it. Maybe somebody smaller might have an issue with that. But just like the Cybertruck, you can raise and lower the suspension. But honestly, the Cybertruck's front is weak sauce. It's weak. I mean, I had to add this net here, this safety net. I mean, it's better than not having any front at all, but I feel like the reduction in size, a lot of that came from the front itself. So, Rivian wins. All right, when it comes to extras, I would say the flashlight, the puddle lights, I should say, the flashlight, the speaker. The flashlight was pretty bright. The speaker I didn't really mess with, but maybe if you went camping, I don't know, I read online it's not that good. I don't know why I didn't test that. But, I mean, it's cool implementation. But first, we got to talk about the interior. Big difference. Like, so Rivian went with the 2-screen setup, which is cool. Everybody thought the Cybertruck should have it because it's more of a premium vehicle. Here's what I like about the secondary screen. It's right in front of you. It's nice. There's so much information you have on your main screen. But the problem is, the way I have my steering wheel configured, it blocks the top of that screen. So I kind of dug down, and I'd rather have a comfortable driving configuration than be able to see that screen, you know what I mean? So my seat is comfortable, my steering wheel is comfortable, but it's out of my line of sight. So that's one of the drawbacks. The screen is huge. Both screens are nice. Not as zippy as the Cybertrucks, but of course the Cybertruck is brand new, right? The latest hardware. So the Cybertruck has a more responsive screen, but the interior is what do you like? Do you want this minimal interior of the Cybertruck with this weird steering squared circle? I'm not calling it a squircle. Or you want a traditional wheel? I mean, the seats in the Rivian, they look premium. They look nice. They were comfortable. The seat was comfortable. I love the design cues and the detail of the interior. I mean, they have the handles up there. You know, I mean, the minimal look of the Cybertruck is cool, but I like the Rivian's interior, just to be real. As far as the screen, I do like the rear screen in the Cybertruck. There's more functions, and a Rivian will have an update where you can do different things. You can mirror and things like that, but it's very limited right now, the rear screen. And I feel like the screen portion, I would give it to the Cybertruck, but the overall interior has to go to the Rivian. I mean, they both have cup holders. They both have this big open crevice in that middle part, but there's no glove in the Rivian. But still, like, they have underseat storage. They both have storage underneath the rear seats. So do you prefer a minimal look, or do you want a lot going on? Very nice details, not buttons, right? But just details. And again, I really think there was a lot of effort put in behind the design of the interior of the Rivian. That's the theme here. They thought everything through. But if you plan on riding in the back seats or you have adults back there or larger kids, there's way more room in the Cybertruck. There's limited space in the back of the Rivian R1T. And as you can see here, my brother scraped his leg trying to get out of the R1T. It's not much space. And the Cybertruck door opens 90 degrees. So he has plenty of space to get in and out of. Overall, it's way more comfortable in the back seat of the Cybertruck. So again, depending on what your use case is, who will be in the truck with you, and how much you care about them. But you get in that interior so you can drive. And this is where Cybertruck it dominates. Rear wheel steering. You already know, steer by wire. It's so easy to maneuver the Cybertruck. It's like driving a race car. It is. Rivian felt traditional. It's quiet inside. It's comfortable enough, right? But it was just no wow factor with driving. I was talking to my brother about it, and he felt the same way. I mean, it's a nice, quiet, comfortable ride. But the Cybertruck is smooth. Like, it's man, and it's even more quiet inside the Cybertruck. So just a combination of those things, but just driving a Cybertruck is a dream. Just busting U-turns, maneuvering around. It's a very unique experience that you need to try out. You have to see for yourself, and your mind's gonna be blown. You're like, wow, this is something nice. Again, you know, if you want a traditional feel, the Rivian's nice. It's quiet. It's smooth. It's comfortable. It probably feels better than most of the pickup trucks out there. That's cool too. But I'm into like game-changing features, and Tesla implemented some game-changing features when it comes to driving that Cybertruck, that big behemoth. But again, whoo, it's swift. It's a swift boy. But you go with either one of these trucks, you'll be happy. You can camp in both of these. You can do work in both of these. But it's true. They really thought about, like, we have our demographic. We have our niche. We have the people we want to reach. And I think they do that. So if you're an outdoorsman, again, you can do that in any pickup truck, but you really play that role. It's like cosplay, right? You're out there like, we're going to do the adventure thing, right? We're going to do it in a Rivian. And the Cybertruck is like, all right, we're going to do all these things well. And you can do that on top of that too, right? You can go camping on top of that. I'm telling you, you'll like either one of these. So, tough decision. Me personally, I still choose the Cybertruck. But if I had the Rivian, I wouldn't be disappointed. I would actually love it. And I thought about getting it while I was waiting. While I was waiting for that Cybertruck to come, I was thinking about just picking up a Rivian instead. Talk to my boys, they will tell you. I thought about that F-150 Lightning. Talk to my boys, they'll tell you. But I'm going to test out more EVs, more EV trucks on this channel. So, hey, keep it locked here. I appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, Cobra told ya. All right, y'all.